Hey folks, problem 511 here on LeetCode. It's called Gameplay Analysis 1. It is an easy SQL interview question, but if you ask me, it could also be considered a trick question, and let me walk you through why. So basically we have a table here called activity, based on game activity. The player ID and event date is the primary key, and what they're looking for is to write a SQL query to report the first login date for each player. And the results, of course, can be in any order. So this is what the input looks like. It's, the same four fields, and what they're looking to get out of it is, every single player, using the player ID and the respective first login date. Now, the reason I say this might, to some of you, be a trick question is because it's easier to overthink this. Like you might say, do I need to use a subquery, common table expression, rank function, row number? Like how do you distinguish, the first login from the second login and so forth? But it's actually much more simple than that because we're given a date field here, right? So we can make use of the min function, for example, to get the smallest or lowest or the minimum event date. And that would essentially give you, if you were to group by the player ID, the very first event date or login date of said player. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to select the player ID, and so not necessarily the event date itself, but the min event date, because we're going to be grouping this on the player ID level, right? So give me the min event date. And this is not cooperating with me, but I think they did rename the output here. So we're going to call it first login. So give that an alias of first login. And then we're obviously selecting from this activity table. And again, grouping on the player ID, because if we don't do that, it's just going to give us, the same duplicate records, player ID 1, 2, 3. It's not really going to help you. But if we group by player ID, it's going to give you the very minimum event date of every single player ID, and I think that's what they're looking for. So go ahead and submit, and there you have it.